Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastor's Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.
Greetings and welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given us. I hope you're having, or you will have a great day, depending on what part of the world that you're in at the moment. We thank you so much for joining us, and we thank our underwriters, because without our underwriters, this would not be possible. So thank you all so very much. You're in for a treat today for this episode, but before we get started, we always like to start with the jewel on the journey. And the jewels on the journey are those individuals who attend our live events, those individuals who come to our live tapings. And we always ask them to complete a little index card of their favorite quote, their favorite scripture, a word of encouragement. And today we have a word of encouragement. Let's see. We have a word of encouragement. I don't believe this particular jewel signed this one, but they love, and we know this verse, Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6. And they start off with, train yourself to find a blessing. Ooh, I like that. Train yourself to find a blessing, and of course, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he truly will direct your path. And these days and times that we are living in, he truly, truly can and will direct our path. And we just have to keep the faith, keep our eye focused on him and not the circumstances that are right in front of us. I know it's a challenge, but we want to keep our eye on him. All right, well, today I have a guest. I'm excited to have this guest today, as I am with all of my guests. She is an author. She's written a wonderful 7-day devotional. She's had some recent changes in her life with a financial service that she has started. And also there's a powerful group that she's a part of, and we're going to talk about that today. So please welcome to My Journey with Paula G, Miss Yvette Caslin. Greetings, Yvette. Good morning. How are you? Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
You are looking absolutely fabulous this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So, you know, they call me Lady Wisdom. And we know that wisdom comes with experiences and with life and with all of our ups and downs. You also have written a 7-day devotional that speaks to wisdom and wealth. I like that. That was catching. It's like, oh, okay, wisdom and wealth. So share with us a little bit about your devotional.
Yeah, so my devotional title's Sophia's Garden, a 7-day devotional. It is me unpacking my life, in a short little novella. It's a little memoir.
I like that. Unpacking.
I'm unpacking my life. And Sophia in Greek means wisdom. So the book is about wisdom. It's based on applying wisdom to everyday life. I am a 20-year veteran in the media and entertainment business. And so what I was doing basically when I came up with this, I was down in the valley. And I had, made a sudden career change, and it was, we know God makes things happen suddenly. So I made a sudden career change, and, was just trying to figure out what I would do next, and where I could be the Proverbs 31 woman
Mm-hmm.
and make money at the same time, actually survive.
Which is what
And
she did. Which is
yes,
what she did at Proverbs 30, because that's a high bar right there.
yes,
So
it is. It is a
yeah,
high
she was
bar.
making some.
Multiple streams. She had multiple streams. She had multiple gifts and talents that she utilized, and I it's the guiding principle for me. And so I wrote the book. It was a mandate. I couldn't sleep. I had been carrying this book inside of me. I couldn't sleep. So March of 2019, I released the book during National Women's History Month. And the devotional is an ebook. It's available on Amazon, and it's available free if you have Kindle, and otherwise it's $2.99. It's an ebook, and it's a great read. I say, because I'm pouring out my heart, and it's just I unpacked, and it was a part of my spiritual awakening and my healing and my therapy. Living the fast life in the entertainment business, and the coverage, and it was nonstop. And I all of a sudden stopped when I parted ways with the company, and I had to redefine who I was.
Yes.
I wasn't this person, this editor-in-chief of this publication. I was no longer that person. That was, I actually lived that so fully that I got lost in it.
Really?
And so I wrote the book, and it was a way for me to climb back up the mountain. We go from glory to glory, but there are valleys. In order to go from one mountaintop to the next, you have to go into the valley. And so I spent, like I said, some time in the valley, and that was a part of my healing process, writing this book and sharing and being very transparent and open.
And it's so what you said about being in the valley. As you were saying that, I was thinking back to my own valley experience. And truly the wisdom comes out of that, because you've got to climb, scratch, fight. I can't think of any other adjectives at the moment, but you with me, right? Your way out of that valley. And in the process of doing that, that's where that wisdom comes, because in some instances, you as you're coming out, and tell me if you agree with this, some instances as you're coming out, you kind of pass some things like, okay, that's why I wound up where.
And it is, hindsight is 2020 vision for sure. We're talking about the year 2020 was going to be 2020 vision. We've all had enough time, during these times to really reflect and really be intentional about, what our next moves are and what's really important. Yeah. And yes, climbing up out of that valley has not been easy. I've done some backsliding. Yeah. I had to start back over, but I've gained so much, and I would not take anything for that journey.
But that's good that you said that, Yvette. That's good that you said that, that I slid back a bit, because I think sometimes, when others look at us where we are, they think, oh yeah, they were in the valley like me, but look where they are, so they just came up and came out. No, sometimes it was sliding all the way back. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and then coming back up again. So I think that's always encouraging to, when you share that, and when you're honest with that. And I love the title, Sophia's Garden. And it's so interesting, because it was a few days ago when I was reading about women in the Bible. I had this devotional, and particular week I was reading about Sophia, which was a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time that I learned. I'm like, wow! So when I saw the title, I was like, that is just phenomenal,
that wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah, I know, right?
It was not a coincidence.
No, but for you to have the thought and the wherewithal to select the name that has impact, because I always say names matter, and names are powerful. There's power in the name. We always got to be careful what we name our children. Mm-hmm. There's power in the name. So for you to name the book Wisdom, basically Wisdom's Garden is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's a 7-day devotional. So can you give the audience an idea of maybe some different ways that they can journey through those 7 days?
I say, begin everything with a fast. It's when you disconnect from your flesh.
Yeah.
And, for me, I'm on a journey of fast. And so when I disconnect from my flesh and live totally by the Spirit and totally just dependent upon the Holy Spirit to guide me and lead me, to nourish me, it's when I can receive the most, when I have the most clarity.
Yes.
It's when I am the most creative and the most innovative. And it's when I start to shed and purge
Yeah.
those things that are not for me for the particular season that I'm going into. And so I say begin it with a fast and, make it a part of your library during your fast.
Yeah. Things that are not for you for a particular season.
Yes.
Audience, I hope you caught that. Things that are not for you for a particular season. It may have been a season in the past or maybe a season ahead of you, but for that particular season, it may not necessarily be something, for you. So we've got a book, 7-day devotional, and a business, because the wisdom, that's the wisdom part. So talk to us a little bit about the wealth part.
Yeah, so the wealth. So I have a firm that I launched at the top of this year. I had a strategic communications firm, and when I was working with clients, what I realized, the clients didn't have a way. Entrepreneurs and small business owners didn't really have the means or the financial capital to pivot their businesses, and they had bad credit. And they needed help with their taxes, on how to file taxes to, get the best tax credits. And so I started my firm. It's called the Pink Print, and it's a financial services firm. And I call it the TLC, the most TLC your financial that you'll need for financial freedom. I do taxes, loans, and credit repair, credit restoration, and help you with the credit building. And so I started the firm to help those entrepreneurs and small businesses owners that I'm working with to get to the next level, to actually start to create some generational wealth. Wow. And, get the right footing. And, there's a whole series of things that come after that. But once you're educated on how to file your taxes, the best business loans, to secure, to take your business to the next level, right. and make sure your credit, is always on point. So it's the TLC of financial freedom. And I call myself the Harriet Tubman of financial freedom. So.
You're gonna bring us out of debt bondage.
Yes.
Into freedom. Yeah, that's huge because we really can just drown in debt because we keep using credit cards and things like, well, I won't mention them, but certain technology makes it that much easier to spend because you don't, when you don't have that physical, currency in your hand, it just makes it that much easier. So it's a good thing to have someone that will come and, help you to be disciplined because God wants us to be disciplined with what it is that He gives us. So, yes. All right, Harriet Tubman of, I like that.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So a book, our business, wisdom, wealth. We've got a lot going on, and we're using the gifts and the talents that God has given us. And we're also a part of a group, an ICG group. Tell us a bit about that group.
So the group is I Crush Goals. And, in that group that was started by Lisa G, we are a group of people that empower each other. We provide wisdom principles. We share them with one another. And, we're just really a community of people that are, aiming for our North Star. And it's the group, and, the different activities that we have going on this media tour that we're doing to really, really lift our community and share the principles that we've gained throughout our careers, the guiding the guidance that we've had, and we want to share it, because wealth comes in many forms. It comes in financial forms, but it also comes in having the intellect and having the support systems and just really having the network, to take you to your next level.
Yes, yeah, and that is so, and especially during this time that we are living in, we just really need to, we really need to be intentional about connecting, on a variety of levels, and connecting and, making sure that we have the resources and the support that we need to do what it is that, that we're doing. And I love, is that your book cover? I love that.
Yes, it is.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. What is there any particular reason, or can you tell us the reason for choosing that particular book cover?
Yes, well, the flowers, of course, are to overstate the garden, and the garden is where, for people that are familiar with the story of Adam and Eve, it's the garden where we fell. Yeah. And and we're provided a new opportunity, and I say that this pandemic really magnifies it, that we're provided a new opportunity to actually rule this land in the way that we were mandated to do 7,000 years ago. So
wow, that is really awesome, and it sounds like really you're a great example of really a holistic approach to walking out your gifts and walking out your talents, and having these different, avenues of which to do that.
Yes.
What do you see moving down the road?
Well, for me, my very next step is, we're going into a month with 31 days. The month of October, and it's prior to us making some of the biggest decisions that we're going to have to make in terms of how we will rule the land, and which leaders we will select to rule the land or elect. So moving forward, the month of October, I will start again my reading of the book of Proverbs, which is 31 chapters, and I'm reading a chapter a day. Yes, because it's a book of wisdom. It's the book of wisdom. So, in order for us to make the best decisions and, as a community, to choose what's best on how we want this land to, where we want this land to end, and rebuilding the soul of our nation, I will, of course, start on my fast, and I will be reading the book of Proverbs, a chapter a day, starting in October.
Wow, that is encouraging. Thank you for that idea. I just may join you.
Thank you, Lady Wisdom.
Yeah, I just may join you because it is so. I've gotten to the point, I fast a few times a year, so I've gotten to the point where I really look forward to. Before it was like, oh gosh, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna, not succumb to, eating the sweets or the things I shouldn't eat, or eating it up, all of those things. But now I really look forward to that time, and I almost really look forward to those hunger pains, because then it's like I go deeper, into the Word, and as you fast and pray and meditate, so much is revealed.
Yes,
and that, don't you find that?
I find that, and I find that I have so much more energy, and I'm often tempted, in conversations, people bringing up food and different food choices, and I'm like, we spend a whole lot of time talking about food. We do, but that is a marvelous idea. Those 31 chapters, and each time, you read. I was sharing with someone that, when we were younger, probably one of the first chapters that we learned was Psalm 23, 23rd Psalm. Mm-hmm. And we've said that over and over and over throughout the years. What I've learned the last several years that, even from different preachers or maybe different books that I've read, a different perspective, or a different, different perspective, or different take, or something new is revealed, which speaks to the layers that are in, in the Word, and how we have to continue to dig deep and peel back those layers, and reveal. Share with the audience. We're gonna chat a little bit more, but we want to make sure you share with the audience your website and social media. Your website and social media. All right. So my website and across all social media is Yvette Caslin. And YvetteCaslin.com is my website, and social media is Yvette Caslin. But in terms of my financial services, is the Pink Print CEO on Instagram.
Okay, excellent.
Other platforms, I am Yvette Caslin, even on Instagram, but I also have one that's the Pink Print CEO. And, it's a mastermind group that I'm forming, where we're really speaking on generational wealth and, and resolving the economic and social trauma that we've experienced over the years, so we can actually really start to build wealth. Because, one thing, we have people with great degrees, I have degrees, but one thing I've learned, that degree doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have generational wealth, because your children, you can't leave your job to your children. There are other means of wealth that you're building for your family.
Exactly. So what does Yvette do in her spare time? Or does she have?
In her spare time, Yvette loves to, I'm right at Stone Mountain Park's back door. I love to do the 5-mile nature trail at Stone Mountain. I enjoy, going to the movies when we were open. When the world was open, I enjoy, of course, cinema. I enjoy cinema. So, I have the pleasure of doing it home streaming, but I miss gatherings. I miss actual opportunities to network with people, to sit down and go to different dinners and really engage with people. So I miss that. But I do a lot of reading for the most part, and spending a lot of time on the trail. And here in Atlanta, I miss actually hitting the Beltline. I used to hit the Beltline on the east side. I miss that. And I've discovered this Michelle Obama nature trail. So I've one time with my BFF.
Oh, okay. We'll have to just, and that is something like during the season, it has been a season of discovery, because the same here in my area, we've discovered different trails and different things that we can do that don't involve being around a lot of people, as well. And that's beautiful that you're able to you're near Stone Mountain. For those who are outside the Georgia area, you may be familiar with Stone Mountain and Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech. Stone Mountain of Georgia, it has quite a history to it. It's peaks and valleys of the history, but it also is an area, if you're looking for some place to walk, hike, the scenery, great exercise, it certainly is a good place too. And then also the Beltline around the Atlanta area, and some of the other cities outside of Atlanta may have something similar, to that as well. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because we're encouraging the audience to, even in the midst of the circumstances that we're in, you still have to thrive, you still have to live, you still have to get out there. And just because God has given us this temple.
Yes, He has.
So we have to take care of this. We have to take care of this temple. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience? What else would you like to share with the audience?
I just want to share with the audience that we have everything that we need. We were born with everything that we need. We are a seed, and just like a seed to form a peach. Everything that is needed for a peach tree is inside that seed. Everything that's needed for a peach tree is inside that seed. So we need to learn to live from the inside out. And I think this time is just a great opportunity for us to do the discovery and to take the personal journey of soul searching. And, when we open up and when the world comes together again, it will be all for the better. We will look back at this time and realize that for 2020, that the vision was bigger than we realized.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you. I've had a ball with this conversation with you today, and just continue, to encourage and continue to write, because that is just so huge when you are able to write, based on your experiences, you're able to write. And from those writings, you share with others a bit of your journey and what you've learned from the journey, and it definitely helps, those whose eyes are laid upon it, or, if it's an audio form, whose ears are laid upon it, for them to grow. So, thank you, and I'm excited for you. And what God has in store for you. You just have a beautiful spirit. So I just know that there are going to be some great things ahead and in store for you as well.
I'm so grateful to have met you, Lady Wisdom. Thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to living in abundance with you. So
yes, and we will definitely have to connect. We will definitely have to connect. And you know that, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this show is all about. Is not only my guest and I connecting, but you and I connecting, you connecting with the guest, and just continuing this journey, you know, together. The phrase that's been coined lately, you know, we're all in this together, and indeed we are all in this together. So we have to love on each other. We have to take care of each other. And in the midst, we also need to love on ourselves and take care of ourselves during these times as well. Fasting and prayer was a wonderful idea for the month of October. I know by the time of this taping, it may be a little bit later in the season, but when we hit a month that's 31 days, you can still do, you can still read through Proverbs 31, fast and pray. So, you know, at whatever point that you may be saying this, you know, pick a 31-day month and go for it. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to the underwriters of My Journey with Paula G. We appreciate each and every one of you. And as I always share with you all, the greatest conversation that you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you saying to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still, small voice? What is your I am? Until next time, embrace the journey.
I pushed on